Hey church, Pastor Dal here. Want to provide for you some devotion material today, and hopefully you have provided some silence and solitude in your own life today. I just want you to understand that we're here together. Even though we're separated physically, the church is still together in spirit, and I want to provide some encouragement, some strength for you. So we're going to begin today in Mark chapter 4, beginning in verse 35. On that day, when evening had come, he told them, "Let's cross over to the other side of the sea." So they left the crowd and they took him along, since he was already in the boat. And other boats were with him. A fierce windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking over the boat, so that the boat was already being swamped. But he was in the stern, sleeping on the cushion. So they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to die?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Silence, be still." The wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Then he said to them, "Why are you fearful? Do you still have no faith?" They are terrified, and they asked one another, "Who then is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Jesus had already healed people. He had cast out demons at this point. He had just finished the Sermon on the Mount, instructs them, let's go across the water. Let's go across the Sea of Galilee. So they get in the boats and they head across. Jesus is tired. He had just taught. He had been doing ministry nonstop. And he was asleep in the back of the boat when the storm hit. Now, this was no ordinary storm. Most of the disciples were fishermen. They had been on the sea before. They knew how to handle the storm. And so this was no ordinary storm. They were afraid for their life. So what do? They wake him up and they ask him this question: "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to die?" Interesting question. They had seen how powerful he was. He had healed. He'd cast out demons already. They'd seen his power. They didn't run to him and ask him to stop the storm. They were mad at him because in the midst of the storm, they didn't figure that he cared. They said, "Don't you care that we're going to die?" Jesus wakes up. He calms the storm. Interesting what he says. "Silence, be still." He just silenced it. Everything was a great calm. You see, this whole problem that the disciples have is not so much that he's God and he could take care of the storm, but they wanted to know that Jesus cared that they were going to die. Many of us out here today that you're watching this, you wonder if all this stuff's going on, and you wonder if Jesus cares. You wonder if he is on the throne still, if he is going to take care of you. You wonder if he is serious about you. You don't have to be afraid. He tells us here, he says, "Why are you fearful? You still have no faith?" And that blew them away because they were looking for an affirmation from Jesus to die with them in the midst of the storm. But Jesus went ahead and just calmed the storm and taught them something in the midst of it. Understand, church, today that Jesus cares about your situation. He cares about the coronavirus. He has allowed this to happen for a reason. He's refocusing our lives, I believe. We don't have all of the distractions in our life that we have usually. He is showing us that he is still enough. And so I want to help you understand today that Jesus does care. If you're overwhelmed by this whole situation and you're wondering, does Jesus even care about me? We know he does. He tells us he does. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son." It was out of love that Jesus came. It was out of love that he ministered. It was out of love that he went to the cross. It was out of love that he was resurrected by the power of God. And it is out of love that he sits at the right hand of the Father today, praying for us, praying for you. So today, understand, in the midst of the storm, you don't have to question whether or not Jesus loves you. You know that he does. If you are his son or his daughter, you can be confident that he is watching over you. You just have to have faith. And he's growing our faith right now. He's helping us to see that he can calm the storm, that we can trust him. We can let him know that we're afraid, that's fine. But he's going to calm us. He's going to calm the storm around us. Even though the waters may still look turbulent from our perspective, we know that Jesus can take care of that too. So be encouraged, church. Jesus loves you. He cares. He does not want you to be in the midst of the storm by yourself. He is with you. Have a good day. Increase your faith. Have some quiet time today. Love you.